It's one of the only times, I think, in Scripture where God says, forget your praying. Here's a strong word. Forget your praying. Don't pray anymore. I'm not interested in your prayers. I'm not interested in your worship. I'm not interested in your pulling your sackcloth and your ashes all over you and ripping your clothes and bowing up and down and staying here and crying out to me. Forget it. I'm not interested in it. Now, Joshua would have been probably, what? You know, what do we do? And he said, someone's breached your unity. Someone has fallen out of obeying your agreement about doing this and doing that and doing that, and they've stolen the stuff. So you can imagine Joshua, you know, the sacrifice it took to get there, the years of having to wait himself and his brother Caleb. They were denied the first crossing, you remember that? They had to wait another 40 years because of the same thing. People couldn't get their act together. People couldn't agree about taking the land, and they saw themselves as grasshoppers in the sight of the giants. And so God got upset because they're not in agreement. They couldn't just hold their line. They staggered all over the place, and they fell into the horrible fear and doubt of themselves. And that cost Joshua and Caleb another 40 years living with all these losers. And God said, they're going to all die out. I'm not going to let one single one of them come back into the promised land to attempt it, because they will breach your unity. You and Caleb, Joshua, are the only two who agreed that I could give you that land, and you agreed together to obey me. So they waited 40 years. So you can imagine the pain in Joshua when he found out that one person, one of his guys, one of the team, had let the whole team down, let the whole nation down, let the whole movement down. See the sacrifices. I've paid those 40 years, and I've come in here now, and you mean we stand on the edge of losing everything because one of these guys in here, one person, fell out of agreement, jeopardized the whole campaign, and God was not going to let them go on. He wasn't going to bless them, because this corporate blessing holds so much power. If it was just an individual who's looking for that blessing, that's another thing. But this holds incredible power. It takes cities. It pulls down systems. It takes away the power of the enemy. That corporate unity and agreement must maintain itself and stay there if you're going to win. And Joshua was a winner. He didn't want to be a loser. Every winner knows that when you make a brotherhood commitment, that's what brotherhood's about, the commitment, then you agree, then you hold that to the line. You can do a whole lot of other things, but do not fall out and turn to say something under your breath or in your heart and say, I don't agree with that, I don't go with that. Bishop said this and Bishop said that, well, I don't agree with it. The moment you do that, you don't just jeopardize your life. And I'll tell you what happened, because it's good to know. God said, let's go for a witch hunt. And Joshua said, what do you mean a witch hunt? I want you to go through every tribe and line all the tribes up. Because they didn't know who it was. God knew who it was. And the person who breached the agreement knew who he was. But he thought he could hide. Millions of people, and they lined up in their tribes. Can you imagine this picture? And it's in Joshua chapter 7. And they all lined up, tribe by tribes. He eliminated the tribes. And away they went, and he said, no, not that one, not this one, not this one. It's this tribe. So here's the tribe. And you can imagine all those people in there, because this is serious. You're dealing with God here. And everybody had the feeling, flip, I think this is bad. I think this is going to go down real bad. And I'm sure I didn't break, I stuck to the word of my leader Joshua. I did everything, the stuff I got. I didn't put a penny in my pocket. I stuck it in the treasuries of the house of the Lord. I didn't withhold I didn't pinch it or steal it, whatever. I gave it that whole thing. Yeah. Got down to this tribe, and then they went down through the families, got right down to the families. So they started to isolate the families that were all there with their generations of their children. They had their possessions and animals. And it got down right to the family, and God said, that's the family right there in Joshua's ear. He said, Joshua said, this one. He said, yeah, that one. The guy's name is Achan. So he said in his ear, his name is Achan. Actually, Joshua 7:13, the number 13, verse 13, says that the whole nation was cursed and the whole church was cursed because of one man, one person. Doesn't sound fair and right, but it gave me perspective that, say, for our destiny movement and all of the Man Up and Legacies, I don't think we're all in agreement totally with everything that's said. I'm sure, and I'm not putting this and making it like you have to say everything that he's saying and believe everything about, but there is a certain agreement and there is a unity that is fundamentally important.